Welcome back to a brand new video. Welcome back to the Show YouTube channel. Yeah, we've got a brand new video for you today. As you can tell by the title, today it's going to be a bit of a different one, and I'm going to be giving my England squad, my 26-man squad for the Euros coming up this summer. That's pretty much it really. There's a lot of people that have been doing this recently. There's a lot of people, and I thought, you know, maybe I've left it a bit too late, but who cares? We're going to give it a go anyway. I'm going to give my opinions, my own squad. And yeah, that's pretty much it really. This one, there isn't going to be many visuals on screen or anything like that. It's going to be more of a podcast type thing. So if you want to have this on in the background and whatever, then that's completely fine. But make sure, subscribe, you like the video, all that good stuff really means a lot to me. And yeah, we're just going to get straight into it. Basically, I think they upgraded it at some point to 26. And yeah, this is my 26-man squad. Haven't picked the formation or anything or the system of play. I'm just literally picking 26 players, in my opinion, that should go to the Euros. So of course, starting off with the goalkeepers, the three main ones really: Pickford, Pope, Henderson. I don't really think anyone's saying different really. I don't really think there's anyone else that would get in. I think maybe Johnson has an outside shout of it, but again, I think it'll be the main three really, not really much to talk about. And I think for me, who should start, probably Pickford. I know that people have had a lot of controversy and T-Rex arms and a lot of jokes, and it's all very funny, but like for England, he hasn't done anything wrong really. Like I can't really think of a mistake he's made for England or under Gareth Southgate, so you can understand why Southgate goes with him every time, because he hasn't put foot wrong for England. So yeah, the three goalkeepers are pretty much the same really. Now the defence, I will start with right backs and then end the left back. So first I go with Trent, Rhys James, Stones, Maguire, Mings, Cody, Shaw and Chilwell. I've saw a lot of other teams that put a lot of different defenders in there, but I've just gone with them. I've gone with like two right backs, right wing backs, 4 defenders, 4 centre backs you could say, and 2 left backs really. But with some of the other players I've picked, they can also play like wing backs and full backs and stuff, so it can all work out anyway. But yeah, I think Trent, has to be in there, definitely. I think ever since he was dropped from the last England squad, he's improved really well. In the last couple of games he's done really well, so I think he has to be on there. Rhys James as well. It was difficult. I was switching between Walker and James, and I've just gone with James. Of course, Walker's had a brilliant season. He's won the Premier League. He's probably going to win the Champions League. Who knows? But I would go with James just about. The thing that I was thinking about was Walker can play in that back three as a centre back. He's done it before. He's done it well. But I think James can do that as well. Arguably, he's probably not as good in that centre back role. But if we are going the 3 centre backs, then he's probably not as good. But he can do it. He can do a job there. And I think, to be fair, actually, I think if we are playing 5 at the back, Gareth will probably pick another defender. Probably Michael Keane. He'll probably pick or something. If he's going into it like every single game, we're going to play 3 at the back. So yeah, it would probably pick another defender like Keane or something. But I don't know. I've tried to make it as versatile as possible. Like he can switch between the 3, a 4, or a 5 and a 4, whatever you want to call it, and whatever. So yeah, I've gone with James just about, but that was difficult. Stones, Maguire are our 2 best centre backs. Definitely go with them. Then I'll go with Mings and Cody. Mings, I think, is just again a very solid defender. Tall, strong, left-footed, which is a big plus as well, being left-footed. Has also played a left back a few times as well for like Bournemouth and back in the day. So he has. If we really do like have an injury shock in the Euros, then he could play left back or left wing back or whatever. So that would be big. And then Cody, again, a bit of me is just picking it because I'm biased, because I'm a Wolves fan and I want to see a Wolves player at the Euros or at the European Championships for England especially. So a little bit of it is biased, but if we are planning to play a 5 at the back, then Cody and this is me just being genuine now, not trying to be biased or anything, but Cody is the best at that sweeper role, the best in the league, in the Premier League, 100% without a doubt. His passing range is so good, and he'll let the other two centre backs do like all the dirty work, and then he'll just sweep up anything else, the balls in behind, anything like that. So again, I'm a little bit biased. If we are playing two, then he's not great, but he did probably have the last game against Tottenham. He did probably have his best ever performance in the back four. I think without him in that defence that day, it probably could have been like 4 or 5. So I think he cleared a few off the line as well. So yeah, I'm going with Cody again. It's a little bit biased, but again, it's just leadership as well. I think just off the pitch as well. Like even if he's not playing, I think in the changing room and around the changing room and around the ground, I think it can be super motivational. And the way he speaks and stuff, I think that could really help a lot. I think it's really important having them type of players in the squad as well. Can really motivate you for big games like that. So again, I'm probably being a little bit biased. I think there's definitely better defenders out there. You could say Tomori, even Holgate as well, or Tarkowski and Dunk. So it's difficult, but I've gone with Cody. I know I'm probably being biased, but I just want to see Wolves play there, and I think he genuinely can bring a lot to this England squad as well. And then the two left backs, Shaw, Chilwell, I think they kind of pick themselves really. Can't really think of anyone. I think Cresswell's had a good season, but I don't think he would break into the squad really. I'd probably start Shaw over Chilwell, but I think there's two very good full-backs. I think no complaints there really. So yeah, going straight on to the midfield. I was a bit not confused, but I was debating around a lot of different players, and a lot of these midfielders could play as wingers as well. So it's I don't know, it's a bit different, but I'll just read them out and explain them all. So first we've got Rice, Phillips, Mount, Foden, James Ward-Prowse, Bellingham, Grealish, Saka, and Jordan Henderson. Now I put Jordan Henderson right at, like, he was literally the last person I picked out of this squad, and not because I didn't rate him, just because I didn't know if he was going to be fit for the Euros, and I was trying to make this like realistic. I didn't want to pick players just without injury. I want to make it realistic and players that he would actually pick, and I'm still unsure if Jordan Henderson is fit for the Euros, so that's why I put him right at the end. But if he is fit, then definitely. But if he's not, then we'd have to pick someone else. I actually don't know who. I'd have to have a think about that. But yeah, that's the only reason I put Jordan Henderson like dead last. Not because I didn't rate him, but I just don't think he'll be fit. But I'll put him on there anyway. But Rice, I think Rice again is probably one of the first names on the team sheet for England. Should be one of the first choices in that midfield. Phillips as well, I think he's done really well. Again, I watched him quite a bit in the Championship as well when he was at Leeds, and yeah, solid. Very similar to Rice as well, but adds a bit different. Just very fearless as well, especially coming into the Premier League. He just doesn't care. He just does his business, and he's very good. He's not going to score you goals or anything like that. Neither is Rice really, but I think defensively sounds really good. I think Mount and Foden are just given really. They have to be in the squad, whether that's playing or not. I think they're just a given. They have to be in that squad. Two brilliant talents, two brilliant midfielders. We saw Foden play out on the wing as well sometimes. I think he's even played sort of a false 9 at City as well. But I think in this England squad, I think in a number 10 position, Foden, I think definitely. James Ward-Prowse is probably a bit of a different one. Someone not many people would pick. But I love James Ward-Prowse. I think he's so good. I remember watching, was it 2016 when there was a tournament in France? Maybe that was the Euros. It was like the under-21s, I don't know. But he was captain, and he was so good. And even we can see as well with Southampton now, he's just so good. Like, I think I haven't put Trippier in there as well, which is a big miss as well. I think Southgate will go with Trippier as well, which I wouldn't agree with really. To be fair, I don't know how well he's doing at Atletico Madrid really, but I would go with Ward-Prowse because we need someone who is world class at deliveries and putting balls into the box, and good at free kicks as well. And James Ward-Prowse is world class at them things. We've seen the amount of free kicks he's scored, his deliveries into the box from corners. We've seen how good he is, and I think we need someone like that in the squad who's genuinely just world class at crosses and free kicks and stuff like that. And I think James Ward-Prowse is the perfect option for that, and probably the best that we've got, really. Probably the best we've had since, I don't know, maybe Beckham, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm going a bit too far back, but I don't know. But I think James Ward-Prowse, I think I would definitely have in there. I think he's even better than Trippier as well, to be honest. Yeah, he scored that one free kick against Croatia that we always talk about, and it was like one of the best moments, that like 100%. But I think James Ward-Prowse, for that delivery alone, has to be in the squad for me. Jude Bellingham, again, a little bit of a bias because, you know, we're both from the same area, and, you know, trying to back my boys, but nah, Bellingham has to be in there as well. I think even for that performance against City in the quarterfinals, how good he was, and how good he's been, and how composed and how good he's been at 17 years of age, and obviously won the I can't remember what that trophy's called. He won the FA Cup version in Germany. I literally can't think what it's called. I've watched quite a few Dortmund games this year, to be fair, and Dortmund haven't been amazing, but I think at 17, what Bellingham has done in that team as well is really showing a lot. And even if he doesn't play a game, even if he doesn't start, I think this will do him a lot for his future and for his ability in the future. Being at a tournament like this and just seeing how everything goes on, I think this will do him a lot in the future, and hopefully in maybe in a few years, maybe when he's a bit older, we could see him as that number 8, see him the first name on that team sheet for England. And yeah, I really rate him. I think definitely has to be in the squads as well. Again, Grealish, I think, is a given as well. Only recently come back from an injury, but he's got a few games left of the season to get his fitness back up. And yeah, I think Grealish is quality, and I know he's like, his personality, I just think, is absolute like prick, but his footballing ability is like second to none. Like, he's world class. And again, Grealish is one of them ones where he can play as a left winger or anything, or can play as a number 10. And again, another one of them versatile players. But I put him in the midfield section for this one. But yeah, Grealish 100% has to be on that plane. Saka, I'm going with as well. Again, had a real good season in a really poor Arsenal squad. Again, a bit like Bellingham, very young. I think he's 18, 19 maybe. And this will do him a lot for his future as well. Being around the squads, being around the team in the Euros, I think this will do him a lot. And another one that can play multiple positions, can play as a wing back. I've saw him play as a wing back for England, and he's actually done quite well. I'd say if we're playing a weaker team, you could say, I think he would be perfect for that. And then someone like Trent on the other side, because they would genuinely just be wingers, and I think that would really do well. So yeah, again, Saka, I'll go with the midfield, but can also play different positions as well. But yeah, that's the midfielders, and we'll get on to the forwards now. Moving on to the forwards, we've got Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Calvert-Lewin, Sancho, and Sterling. I was just questioning whether we got 26, but I counted. I'm pretty sure it was 26. I just realised I've actually only written 25. I'll write a player down and then I crossed it out. And then the reason was I put Grealish in the forwards, crossed him out, then put him in the midfield, but still counted that one. So I've only got 25. So I'm going to have to think of another player before the end. Yeah, the forwards, I think Harry Kane is the captain. He's the best striker in the world. One of the best strikers in the world. Yeah, 100%. And number 9, definitely going to be playing. Rashford, I think, again, another quite versatile player as well. Can play a lot of different wings as well. So I think Rashford as well definitely has to be in there. Calvert-Lewin, again, I think is probably a bit of a controversial one as well, because I think a lot of people would have rather put maybe Ollie Watkins or Danny Ings or someone like that. But I still think Calvert-Lewin is still young, and I still believe he's our second best striker, English striker that we've got. So I've gone with him, and I think when you're punting a goal, when you're trying to get a goal, I think he would be a very good player to bring off the bench, definitely. Sancho as well, I think was it in that was in the cup final, I think, for Dortmund, where he scored an unbelievable goal. And since he's come back from his injury as well, has been top quality. Again, first choice player for me in the squad. And then Sterling as well hasn't been good, hasn't had a great season, but again, he's still only, 26, 27, so he's still not old, really, but he's one of the most experienced players in this squad, and I think he'll definitely be taken, and I think he is, I think he'll still bring a lot to this England squad, 100%, and I think the 26th player that I'm going to put in, actually, is probably going to be Mason Greenwood for me. Thinking about, we've got a lot of midfielders already, so I probably wouldn't go with another midfielder. I was thinking about maybe Godfrey or Holgate or another defender maybe, but I'm going to go with Mason Greenwood. Again, I've said this with a lot of players as well. Again, I'm not really expecting him, if he does go, I wouldn't really be expecting him to start or even come off the bench a lot, but just that experience that he'll get, and he's still 17, 18 as well, and that will do him so much for his future, and maybe potentially be a replacement for Harry Kane when he gets a bit older. So yeah, I'll probably the 26th player would probably be Mason Greenwood, to be fair. I know there's a lot of players I missed out, like I said, Michael Keane, Holgate, James Maddison as well. James Maddison was very close for me, but I just think he's had a lot of injuries this season, and he's just been inconsistent for me. Like, I've watched games where he's been done really well and he's scored worldies, and that's great, but I just think he's a little bit too I don't know, he's just a little inconsistent for me, and I don't know, it's a tricky one. But then I was also thinking Tammy Abraham as well, which I think I really rate Tammy Abraham, but he just hasn't played for like months now. Tuchel just doesn't rate him for some odd reason. So I think, to be fair, I think if Abraham was playing week in, week out, I probably would have, and he was putting in good performances, I probably would have put him over Calvert-Lewin or over Greenwood for me. So I do rate him that highly. I think he's very good. So there are probably some of the change I would make. Is there anyone else really that I would change? Again, the right back situation is mental because you got Wan-Bissaka as well. You got Lamptey, but he's injured. You got a lot of good right backs there, and it's difficult. But I'm gonna go with that squad. Again, let me know your squad in the or actually no, because that's gonna take way too long to comment. Just let me know what you changed from my squad. Let me know any player that you think should be in that I've left out or I've completely forgotten. Let me know in the comments down below as always. Make sure you subscribe as well, really appreciate it. My Twitter and Instagram down below, so make sure you follow them as well. Again, trying to get more consistent on this channel, fingers crossed. Just trying to get new videos out. Obviously almost the end of the season, so I'll be doing some more Wolves end of season stuff. So yeah, make sure you stick around for that. And yeah, appreciate you all watching. Make sure you stay well, stay safe. And yeah, see you all in the next one.